Hi, everybody, and welcome to the
Hello.
post-credit show. I'm Nick,
I'm Chris.
and we're here to talk about games we played, movies we've watched, and other sorted nerd junk we have done.
And what a list I have.
Jeepers creepers. All right,
Well, it's been 2 weeks.
it has been 2
and
weeks.
I've had
'cause-
nothing to do these 2 weeks. So
That's true. Also true.
see what happens when you give me time?
Yeah, I know. Oh, God, now I gotta look at my list. Ah, crud, there's stuff I haven't done either. Cool.
Do you want me to
So, yeah,
start
us.
then?
You're good. Yeah, you can start us off.
Okay.
Cool.
I will start with the latest thing I've been watching on Netflix.
Excellent. Oh, yes.
The Witcher
Excellent.
with Henry Cavill.
The Superman.
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 He does a really good Geralt.
Doing whatever a Superman
Now,
can.
I haven't really dived much into the games or the books.
Yep.
So I don't know much of the history of this universe, but from what I understand with critics and that it's similar to the games in the fact that it draws well from the books. It does a really good job of it. I think the book creator is also involved with the show, like he was with the games.
He was not very much involved with the games because he's actually unhappy with the games.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Mostly because they won't pay him money.
Yeah, man. I guess that makes people mad.
Well, because he signed a contract with them.
Yeah.
Because they went, we'd like to use your books as the basis for our games.
Yeah.
And he's like, cool. And they're like, and again, it's not like The Witcher was that well known a book series.
Oh no, because it was made in Sweden. I
Yeah.
believe.
So they gave him a nominal fee of whatever it was. And then, like, The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3 exploded.
Yeah.
And the author's like, well, I want more money. And they're like,
No.
you already, like, gave us permission and we gave you money. Like,
Yeah.
the deal's been done. And he's like, yeah, but you made more money. And they're like, yeah, we did. Like, sorry, not sorry.
But this apparently follows the short stories
Mm-hmm.
very well. Closer to the books actually than I think the game did, because an example of that would be in the games he carried the two swords on him,
Yep.
where in this he only carries the one, and his horse carries the other one because that's how they did it
In the book.
in the books.
Cool.
So they followed closer. The timeline in this can be very confusing.
Yeah, because there's...
There are three
Three
separate
of them.
characters you're following,
Yeah.
and from what I understand, because you follow Yennefer, Geralt, and Ciri. Yennefer's story takes a place over 70 years.
Mm-hmm.
Geralt takes over 40 years.
Cool.
And Ciri is 2 weeks.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of things that happen right off the bat, and then you go to Geralt's point of view.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a different time where that place still exists.
Right.
So it's a very confusing. I personally didn't realize this until like
Episode.
the third 3 or something.
I think that's
like
what
that.
you said. Yeah, you said episode 3 or 4. You finally, like...
Well, because my cousin watched it, but she watched the entire thing before I even got through them.
Right.
And you really start to notice it more because he goes to the same locations or characters pop up that are younger.
Yeah.
In this. But overall, good show. Like, really good show.
Cool.
It would have been, if I would have watched it faster.
Yep.
It probably would have been in contention for my movie TV
Show.
show of the year.
Nice.
I mean, it was good. If you like the fantasy stuff, good fight scenes.
Right.
Like, it was very choreographed. Cavill even went into detail about it, where he said, a lot of these guys who do the sword fights,
Right.
they have to take dance first, because
Okay.
it's pretty much how a sword fight goes.
Yep.
It's very choreographed and all that, and you just the dance moves.
Sure.
Essentially. And I think I watched an interview after he brought the guy who did the fight scenes for Mission Impossible that he was in.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Brought him over to help out with this, and
Yep.
because he was a fan of his, he enjoyed working with him.
I was going to say probably enjoyed... Yeah.
And it was really good.
Cool.
Definitely recommended to go watch at some point if you have the Netflix subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Disney Plus stole a lot of people away.
It did.
Not a lot, as much as I thought, but yeah.
I still have mine because I watched like Fuller House is on there and stuff.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, so.
So yeah, there was that. I'll leave the other one till later.
Okay.
Games, dabbled in some Modern Warfare.
Heck, yep. Yes, we did. Just a little.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
I'm at this point now, since last mentioned it, I guess I passed my 55 marker.
Excellent.
I am now in the 70s.
For your level?
Level.
Yeah.
Battle Pass, I'm still in the 40s, 41 or whatever.
Yeah.
Working my way towards that, if I can reach that 66 goal or not. We'll see. Don't quite know yet. But yeah, it's Modern Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
It's still good.
Mm-hmm.
Got my brother involved the other night.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
his
did.
wife for a bit,
Yeah. That was fun.
which I told her was very entertaining.
Yep.
There's that. While I was away, because when I go on road trips, I bring my Switch with me.
Nice.
So I decided to play some Luigi Mansion 3.
Excellent. How did you enjoy Luigi's Mansion 3?
I haven't finished it, but
Or how are you enjoying it?
it was good.
Yeah.
They keep adding more and more buttons to do things.
Yes.
I find the pulling on the ghosts is getting a little harder
Yes.
because it's hard to tell the direction.
Yes.
I think I'm pulling up
I
on it, and
agree.
it's not.
Yeah.
I've never played any other one, so this has kind of been a new experience for me.
I liked the first one. I never played the second one. But this, yeah, it's been fun.
With Luigi. And
Luigi.
I just passed the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah.
That one was a bit of a pain.
Mm-hmm.
The boss fights aren't overly hard.
No, once you figure out what the pattern, like it's very
Yeah.
much we make patterns for everything, and once you figure out patterns, you're
Yeah.
good to go. Yeah.
Like I said, it's just the figuring out which way to tug them.
Yes, I agree. Because every once in a while, I'm like, I'm pulling this way because the ghost is going this way, and it's
not
still
quite.
not. Yeah,
You
no,
gotta-
something's.
gotta rearrange that a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, good game. I'll finish it eventually.
Yep.
I don't know when, but I'll do it. Before the new year hit, I decided also to platinum another game, so I dedicated a day to just going through Uncharted.
Nice.
Going through that, I've platinumed the previous one.
Yep.
But this was the remastered. So
Yes.
instead of online trophies,
Yep.
they had speed runs.
Yes, they did.
Speed runs at certain levels.
Yeah.
Did those, just watched a video because there was one where it was a puzzle, so it was kind of
Oh yeah.
how was the quickest way to go through this puzzle. I could do the puzzle, it's just I knew it would take me a bit.
Yep.
Because you had to fight guys, and I had 7 minutes to do it. So I did it. Yeah. Finally played something on my Xbox.
Yeah, you did.
Because my brother has now taken it upon himself to go, oh, we can multiplayer things.
Yes, you can.
So played some Gears of War.
Yep.
Boy, howdy, that has changed since I last played it.
Did you play the original Gears?
Yes. Yes, because that's what he's like. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to go through this.
Because Brian and I tried 5.
Yeah.
I want to do the same thing. I want to go back to 1 and just be like, okay.
Usually, I will pick the medium level.
Sure.
Because it's like, I'm not a pro, but
Nope.
I'm better than
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the beginner stuff. We are debating whether we should have went to the beginner stuff. Because for a medium level, it is hard. Well, because you shoot guys in the head.
Yeah.
You're not going down. It's like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
They weren't going down.
you know.
And even getting the chainsaw to work properly, it could have been just a Xbox 360 thing.
Yeah.
Because I think it was one of the first games that came out for 360.
Yeah, I was close to.
But,
Yeah.
we thought we were good. We beat the first section.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, feeling good.
Well, they were like, how do we get through this?
Oh, good.
Maybe we should have lowered the difficulty on
Yeah.
this. But yeah, it was... Oh, that was a bit of a challenge to get through.
So does your brother have an Xbox?
No, we split screened it.
Cool.
That was a bit of a process because we had to wait for him to set up a profile. because he had one previously.
Yeah.
He didn't want to look up the password or anything, so he decided to create a new one.
Excellent.
So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I noticed I got some new Xbox friends.
Did he add you?
I think so.
He shouldn't. He didn't have time to do that unless he's been on my system without me knowing.
Or it added at the same. I don't know. Or
I know I added you.
Or I have them from before.
I added you from. Well, I had you from before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a very blast from the past game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the rest of that goes. The newish game that I've played.
Newish.
Well, it's an old game, but it's new to me.
Yep.
Was the Order 1886.
I had a tough time with this game, and I think it's because it's one of the first PlayStation games I played, and it just felt really slow.
I don't know if it was slow.
I don't know what it was about it. I got
It
through part of it.
was. I finished it
Yeah.
last night. I knew how many chapters there were, and I'm like, okay, I'll see what time it.
Chris can get this done.
See what time, because the thing that this game has been known for
Yeah.
is being super quick,
Oh yeah.
being only like an 8-hour game, and having the trophies are nothing but silvers and golds.
Oh okay.
No bronze.
No bronze.
So there's less trophies, but you go through a lot more.
Yeah.
And that will be obviously the end game of that is to do that because it's not a hard list.
No.
The only problem with the list would be that there are 4 different type of collectibles you got to get. Like there's 3, but then there's one that says get all of them essentially. The only problem is out of the 3 different sets of things you collect, it only keeps track of one of them.
Oh.
So you don't know where you missed one.
Great.
There's no list.
Great.
So it's like, and I didn't get that by the end of the game. So I'm like, okay.
We'll have to check every single spot on a.
Well, I thought I did a pretty decent job, but
Yeah.
apparently I missed stuff.
Yeah.
So there is, I found stuff on the site I go to, and there's YouTube links to the specific chapters that have, because not all the 16 chapters have
Stuff in them.
So they go, it's like 7 of them.
Yeah.
I think, and they have stuff, so you just YouTube and just go through it and
Have to go to every spot just to make sure that there's
just
nothing
go
there.
through, essentially go through those chapters
Yeah.
again. I mean, that was the thing about this. It was the chapters were really weird. The length on them.
Oh, okay.
So some are really short. Some are honestly just a cinematic, and that's the end of the chapter. It's like,
Yeah, they were
okay.
trying something cool with that game.
I mean, it was a decent concept.
Yeah.
Because you are. The history of this would be interesting because your characters are Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah.
But as you guys are talking, someone leans over and says to you, "Is it true that the leader of this guy used to actually be with King Arthur?"
Yeah.
This is 1886, so
Yeah.
this is like there's obviously something there, and he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And because the way they heal themselves is they drink from the Holy Grail to keep themselves to heal up and keep themselves young and all that.
Just like Indiana Jones would have done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it would have been interesting to see if they continue this or jump back into this somehow and maybe dive more into the past of this organization. But I mean, story-wise, it's predictable.
Oh yeah.
I figured would have happened. It happened. Not going to go into it too much, but I figured exactly how it was going to go down. Yeah.
And you got it. Cool.
That's it for games. Now for the movies.
All right.
Well, I was also on my Christmas trip.
Yes.
I watched some Zombieland Double Tap.
Oh, excellent. How was that?
Not as good as the first one.
Oh, okay.
Still enjoyable.
Yep.
There are a new type of zombies out there. They're smarter, faster.
Excellent.
I can't remember his name now. Zuckerberg's character? Not Zuckerberg.
The guy who plays Zuckerberg.
Whatever his name is.
That guy.
I like how he names things. 'Cause the new zombie is a T-800 or T-1000 or whatever.
Yeah.
The melty one from the Terminator. That's how it is because the first time they encounter it, they shoot it in the head.
Yep.
It gets back up.
Oh,
And it's like, what?
cool.
So they named it I think it was the T-1000.
That's funny.
It just would die. It was more tenacious. Yeah, it was good. Like, it added some new characters into it. I kind of how they almost forced a separation in the group.
Okay.
Kind of weird.
Yep.
Because I thought the characters got over that in the first one, but apparently not.
Okay.
So,
like learning not to separate or learning not to fight over stupid things.
Commitment issues.
Okay.
Hey, I got points. Yeah, it was. It was still a good movie.
Yep.
Yeah, they have three different. Going back to the other zombies, they had other definitions of them.
Yep.
I can't remember what they did with the smart ones.
Oh.
Because there were smart ones,
Yeah.
but they still died faster.
Yeah.
Because the example they showed was a guy ran into a locked room.
Yeah.
And the zombie couldn't get in, and it was by a retinal scanner.
Oh yeah.
And so the zombie saw a dead body there, got the eye, and went and got the scan, and then got the guy. So they were smarter.
Smart zombies. Cool.
But there's also the other ones, which I found humorous, was the homers.
Oh.
They're just really dumb.
I am so smart.
They get into a fight. They kill things.
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, there's one more. Oh wait, it's a homer. Don't worry. Don't worry about it." Yeah, it was good. Shouldn't have waited so long for this to come out.
Yeah, that probably would have helped.
It's just even some of the characters, seeing them age. I think this is Emma Stone's first movie I've seen her in a while. I know she did La La Land and
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
it's been a while since I've seen some of her movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. And other than the other one, I've been doing 6 Degrees of Separation.
Yes.
Game.
Yes.
Just to make my movie watching a little more fun, I guess.
Yep.
Where I left off was Mallrats, and then I was tying in with Ben Affleck
Excellent.
to The Accountant.
Yes.
So watch The Accountant.
How did you like The Accountant?
That was a very different take on autism.
Yep.
That was a really cool way of doing autism.
I know. I thought you liked this movie.
Oh, it was action in it
Yep.
and everything like that, and he was beautiful minds, but
Yep.
he'd go after you if you did something bad.
Well, that's my thing. Like, you start watching the movie and you're like, I don't understand what this is supposed to be, because yes, he spends all night beautiful minding that entire room to find out where the error was in like that tax return or whatever was supposed to be at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay. And then people start dying.
And I was like, oh.
Okay.
An interesting little twist. I kind of figured that's where they were going with at the end.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen it, his brother was the villain.
Yeah.
And so he was okay with his brother by the end of it.
Yeah. I know. It's a weird flick. I was never mad at that movie, though. It was just more of like a
very interesting take on
yes
autism.
Yeah.
And highly functioning
yes
autism and that. Then from there, from that movie, I followed John Berthenol, the brother, into Baby Driver.
Excellent.
Because he was in that for a bit. I thought this was a much better Driver movie than
Driver.
It was done by Edgar Wright.
Yes.
So with his movies, you're gonna get a certain style of.
You're getting
movie.
an Edgar Wright film.
Love the music in this.
Nice. I've heard the soundtrack is killer.
Yes, it was just because they even talk about it. When he drives.
Yeah.
There's that song that just gets him going.
You know what? And I understand that one.
And it's just whatever mood it is, and he even remixes because he videotapes. He a little recorder, and he records what people say during their heist planning, which gets people worried, obviously. But he takes some of their words and he kind of DJs it up. And is he slow? Is he slow? And then we're type thing.
Yeah.
And it was a cool way of doing that.
Yeah. No, I've heard good things about the soundtrack, and I've heard things about that movie overall. So.
Yeah, like I say, it was better than Driver.
Nice.
Because this guy didn't talk for a reason.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't sociable.
Yeah.
And he just didn't care to talk to people, and people found him really weird because he had his headphones in all the time, and he'd just be. And then they question. At one point, they're having a little planning heist thing, and he had his headphones in.
Yeah.
And then, I don't think he was listening. Like they were getting mad at him. The one character was getting mad at him. I don't think he was listening. And then, so the main guy that was telling all the information, you want to tell us what I said? Like, sure. And he rattled off exactly what he said because he was reading his lips while still listening to the music and everything. It was really good.
Cool.
And then from there, took a. Her name is Isa Gonzalez.
Excellent.
She is John Hamm's girl or wife.
Yeah. In
this movie. So from her, I went to Hobbs and Shaw.
Excellent.
That was a good movie.
It's exactly what you'd kind of.
Have you seen it?
No, I have it. You, I think, but yeah, that's.
It's kind of along the same lines for me with where people had the complaint about the airplane. In one of the Fast and Furious. That was a really long takeoff area.
Yeah.
Not that issue. It's more of a time issue.
Oh, okay.
Because in the middle of the fight, it goes from night to day.
Cool.
And it's like, how long is this fight?
Editing is fun.
And one of the characters, they only have because they have a certain time to do stuff, and just the time
didn't quite work.
It was by the end of it, I'm like, it was good up until that kind of final area, and then the time made no sense.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was still good for the action stuff.
Sure.
And all that.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham's character eventually, hey, we got to work as a team.
Yeah.
Finally getting that realization to beat Superman.
Excellent.
Or Black Superman.
Ooh.
That's how Idris Elba
yeah.
defined himself as. But yeah, it was a good action movie.
Cool.
Try not to think about it too much.
And that's what I usually do with my Fast and the Furious films. I don't think too hard.
It was the time that bothered me.
Yeah.
And then from there, Helen Mirren is in this movie again.
Excellent.
As Jason Statham's mom.
Yes.
Because she was in one of the previous ones.
Yes.
So with her, jumped into Monsters University.
Yes, because she was the head
the dean.
Yeah, the dean.
The dean. I needed a way to find my way into the animated stuff. So.
Yep. It'll get harder depending on the animated stuff you're watching, because like the older stuff has no connection to anyone famous.
No, All Dogs Go to Heaven. I don't know how I'm gonna get to that because that's.
Yeah, I can't help you on that one.
No, but with this whole thing, I'm finding it. There's a couple obstacles.
Yep.
Obviously, and because how I went to Baby Driver, or from Baby Driver to Hobbs and Shaw, and then Hobbs and Shaw to Monsters University.
Yes.
Is through the actresses.
Yes.
Because I'm finding actresses are a lot harder to jump from movie to movie.
Yeah.
Because it's just the type of movies I have. They're not.
Sure.
There's not a lot of female characters in them,
yep.
and it's even then they could be in it, but I don't have something to
jump over to.
So if I can find an actress, that's what I'll use because then it saves time.
Yeah.
After, and then the other obstacle being animated movies.
Yes.
Because there's
newer ones you have a better shot at.
Well, the bigger ones I find.
Yeah, but Little Mermaid, you're screwed if you ever want to go back and watch that one.
Well, from Monsters University.
Monsters University, you got a shot.
Well, there's a lot actually. I mean, overall the movie was good. Just to kind of quickly go over that, it was
fun.
Monsters movie.
Yeah.
But I looked through the IMDb of that because I already decided which way I was going.
Yeah.
Out of that, which was Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
Because he actually is the voice for Green Lantern in the DC movies.
Yes, he is.
And the movies. So that's how I'm
getting
jumping
over to
those. how I'm getting out of them, I have yet to figure out, but I'll figure out a way.
Figure it out.
But I can tie two of them together at least. But like I could have went John Goodman because I didn't know he was in Princess and the Frog. I could have went Aubrey Plaza and done Child's Play.
Yes.
Who else was there? I could have done John Krasinski.
Yeah.
And I could have went to The Quiet Place, and then I could have went to Mary Poppins Returns after that.
Oh, we could have done that one. That would have been a weird jump. I'm gonna go from this kid's movie to another kid, or to The Quiet Place, which is definitely not a kid's movie, back to a kid's movie.
And then there was I could have done James Hayter, which I could have done It 2.
Yep.
Or I could have done Angry Birds 2.
Oh yeah.
But there was a whole bunch with that because it was a Disney.
Yes.
Animated
Whenever
movie?
you get to, do you have the Paddington movies?
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say if you need to get to the Paddington movies, you can do it from Mary Poppins, because the one guy in Mary Poppins is the voice of Paddington.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how you get out of Paddington or out of Mary Poppins.
But that's kind of the fun thing about this. Is
It's very cool. It's an interesting way of all these connections.
I'm sure, I have a plan because the next one is Death of Superman. Because that's kind of where I'm at with the DC movies.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that and then go Reign of Superman because it's pretty much the same cast. So I'll just pick a kind of a no name to jump to that, so I don't pick someone big. Yeah. Because there's like Jerry O'Connell, there's Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. There's people to jump off of.
I could, who have been in more things.
If you need to get to, like Wreck-It Ralph 2 has most of the princesses in it.
But I watched that already, so it doesn't. That's the problem with mine is
I know I'm trying to jump you back to older animated movies and Wreck-It Ralph.
The only other older movie I have might be and Rainn Johnson or Wilson.
Rainn Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was in Death is Superman or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And whoever his guy is from 2.5 Men, I think, John Cryer.
John Cryer, yeah.
I think he does Lex Luthor.
Okay.
Or I might be thinking of the actual like Supergirl and Flash shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lex Luthor was a familiar voice too.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping that going. See how long I'm on a 6-movie streak right now. So I see how long. The older animated ones I have is like WALL-E, which there's not a lot of voices.
There's not a lot of voices. Well, there's some voices in there. You can escape. You can get to WALL-E, I think.
But like Batman Ninja, I know I can't get to.
Yeah, no.
Ip Man 3, I can't get to.
Yeah, no.
There's a.
Jeff Garlin and Fred Willard are in WALL-E.
I don't know who those two. Maybe.
Like they've done enough.
I'd have to find them though first.
Yes.
That's also part of the challenge.
Jeff Goldberg is in Toy Story 4. Which means he'd be in Toy Story 3.
And Toy Story 4 would be another one I could probably.
You could jump off of Toy Story 4 real easy.
Getting into it, like I said, that's my word. Those are my words for them. Is I'm getting in and getting out.
Yep.
Yeah. So Monsters University.
Nice.
It's a good movie. And that is it until we talk about the other things that we have in common.
Okay. TV. My big fat.
You have a list too.
Yeah, I know. I forgot we were off for 2 weeks. Well, not off, but not talking about this stuff. My Big Fat Quiz of 2019 and the Big Fat Quiz of Everything we're on. So this is Channel 4 in Britain.
Okay.
It's a quiz show with comedians, and it's like an hour and a half long, and they do it they do it on Christmas or Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And they do it on New Year's Day or the day after New Year's Day. So they do it somewhere in there. 2019, the quiz was a little bit easier because that I remember last year.
Yeah.
The Big Fat Quiz of Everything was the Big Fat Quiz of the decade. So they were asking like music and movie questions and sports questions from the entire decade, and you're just like,
that'd be tough.
Like, I don't even know the song they're talking about when they mention a song, and I'm like, oh no. The comedians seem to have more fun on the decade show than they did on the 2019 show. But nothing will compare to the year where Mel B was on, and she just like brought down everybody's mood. Because she was just a I don't think she knew what she had signed up for.
Yeah.
Like Chelsea Peretti's been on this, like visiting from the States.
Yeah.
She's like, my husband and I just came here for New Year's. And she's like, and you guys called, so like here we are.
Hello, Blue Lava.
What's up, Blue Lava? So yeah, they were fun to watch. They're always fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I also like British comedians. So like Richard Elwade is on there from IT Crowd.
Yeah.
And they team him up with Noel Fielding from the Great British Bake Off. Like that's the thing he's best known for right now.
Yeah.
But he used to be this goth type comedian who hung out with the crazy one with the big hair and kind of the weird voice, who got really famous here for a while and then went skinny guy in skinny jeans. Was with Kristen Bell in that movie.
That's not helpful. I don't know.
It'll come to me.
I'm blank on that one.
I'm trying to think of who was in that movie. It'll come to me. Either way, they team those two up and they're pretty fun because they just try to not win.
Yeah.
Like that's their entire basis of the game is like we don't know anything, so we're just gonna write down stupid answers.
Yeah.
And then when they start fighting with the crowd is always, or not the crowd, but the host is always a good one. So that was fun. TV. My wife and I watched Waking Sleeping Beauty, which is a documentary on Disney Plus.
Another one.
Yeah, this one's a one-time shot though. It's not a full 6 episode. I loved the Imagineering story because that one really did dive into like how Walt started things and how things kind of and how things kind of This was during the bleh part.
Yeah.
And it was very much like the guy who directed American Tail and All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah.
He used to work at Disney and didn't like the way things were going at Disney and left and started doing American Tail and All Dogs Go to Heaven and all of that stuff. And it showed Disney doing like Oliver and Company and like Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
And Black Cauldron was made and almost done, and these new people took over Disney and were like, this movie's too dark, you can't make this movie. So they edited the movie down and parsed it down, which is the movie we got. But then it did absolutely junk at the box office, which is why Disney never talked about it anymore. Like, there's no Black Cauldron stuff anywhere because they're like, no one likes the Black Cauldron. Meanwhile, like, a lot of people actually really enjoy the Black Cauldron, but it's too late for that movie.
For now, live action.
Yeah. Rescuers Down Under was another one that they made during that time period. That was actually their first movie where they had teamed up with Pixar.
Okay.
But it bombed. And so all the animators were worried, like, this new
They made a sequel of that, though.
That was The Rescuers was the first movie.
Right.
So the sequel was The Rescuers Down Under, and it
bombed. That's right, because it was in England first, and then it went to Australia.
I saw Down Under first for the Rescuers movies. For me, personally, as a kid, that's what I saw first. And then it shows them coming back, like they hire, I forgot his name now, but Alan Menken and something Howard.
Okay.
Like they hired those, and they're like, and again, even in this documentary, they're like, Howard was an interesting pick because like he was this gay musical theater guy, and normally those people didn't come into these things, but they had just gotten off of doing this crazy show called Little Shop of Horrors. And so they brought them in because they wanted to work in animation because they're like, animation's like the closest thing we can get to a Broadway production on screen. Because if you can do musicals in an animated show, back then you couldn't really do, like, musicals in live action weren't really huge.
Yeah.
Like, they had fallen by the wayside. So that was their one shot in, and they're like, we're going to do The Little Mermaid. And so it's kind of like the build-up back to the Renaissance.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, like, Michael Eisner and all those guys behind the scenes were all fighting to, like, be, like, who was more important to Disney, as the Disney company.
Yeah.
And we're pretty much just tearing the company apart, little by little. And it's like, oh, cool. Again, why I really, like, the more I find out about Disney during that time, it's just like, it's lucky it's still a company.
Yeah.
Just because of the way it was run. But another cool documentary to have on their service, which kind of, shits on their service.
Yeah.
Like,
especially the bad times, if you can accept the bad times.
Yeah. But the cool thing was this was during this time of the period was like VHSs were coming out, like VCRs were coming out. And back then, Disney just re-released their movies in theaters every 7 years. Yeah. So this was the first, like, we're going to release Pinocchio on VHS. And it made them millions.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, cool!
They see that live action Pinocchio.
Now they're doing... Well, so now I'm laughing because I'm like... Because that was a big thing back then, was like, oh my god. Like, they're taking movies out of the vault and releasing them on VHS for people to just keep. Yeah. And I looked at my wife and I went, so in 40 years, because that was, 40 years ago when that had first happened. Yeah. I'm like, so in another 40 years, they're going to look at it going like, and Disney made a bold move, putting all of their Vault movies on Disney+. Yeah. Like this new streaming service that they were hoping was going to take off. I also watched, and I talked about it in our past cast, but John Mulaney's Sack Lunch Bunch.
Yes.
It is a kids' musical variety hour-esque type show written by John Mulaney.
Yeah, I watched the preview of that, and I don't know.
You at least got to watch the Mr. Music with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Like, the ending part is, like, that part's funny. But again, like I was talking with Brian, or my wife, someone, I think both of them were here when I was talking about it, but someone had said, like, spaghetti with just butter on top is, like, something that I think my nephew eats. Like, we were talking about my nephew. And
I've heard of it.
But that's all he eats is, like... But there's a song in there called A Plate of Pasta. So it's a plate of pasta with a little bit of butter, and that's the entire song. But it's just, like, John Mulaney had thoughts as a kid, and these are just his thoughts now, brought out by other children.
Hooray!
It's kind of funny. It's kind of cute. It made my, like, best of for TV. Movie-wise, I watched the one we can't talk about. Get till the end.
Till the end.
And Frozen 2, my wife and I went to see it yesterday.
And how was Frozen 2?
I liked it better.
I
liked it better than the first one.
Ooh.
And as a sequel, it sets up, I think, again, really nicely. I was watching some other reviews where they're like, they kind of just jump around and do this and that, and like, there's no character development. And I'm like, well, because they kind of, like, the characters are still themselves in this film. Yeah. So they just jumped in with like, you remember all of these characters from that really popular movie? Here they are again. And this time Elsa hears a voice calling to her, and they set up,
it's in the ocean,
it's far off to the north, and they set up the parents with a little bit more backstory.
Canada.
Yes. They set up the parents with a little bit more backstory in this one, so it opens with the exposition of like,
oh, so they're not Tarzan's parents?
No. Disney.
I've heard that there's still a tie into
Disney has kiboshed all of those.
I've heard there's still a little bit of a tie there.
I don't think so.
I can't remember who said it to me. They said there's still a tie there.
No. So the dad essentially starts the movie off by telling young Anna and Elsa a story about this enchanted wood. Yeah. And then that's where they end up having to go for their adventure. So it's a wood that has been locked off by magic and mists and all of this stuff, and they have to get into it to go on their adventure. And the cool thing about this one was, like, there's a lot of, we have to split up, to make things happen.
We don't.
But that's the piece, is, like, they actually don't. Like, they only split up in this movie due to circumstances within the film. Yeah. So it's not like, you have to go, it's not safe for you. And it's like, well, it's not safe for you either, dum-dum. Like, let's go. And it's like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like, when they do separate, it's like, well, where did this person go? And it's like, well, he meandered off that way. Like, we don't know where he went. And it's like, well, we have to get moving. Yeah. And it's like, well, I guess he'll have to catch up. Like, we don't have time to go back and get him. Yeah. We need to move now. Yeah.
Olaf doing his own thing.
Olaf gets a song about growing up because he's only like 3 years old in this movie.
All right.
Kristoff gets like an 80s rock ballad. I thought the songs were actually a lot stronger in this movie than in the first one, and I did enjoy the songs in the first one. Yeah. This one just, like, they hit a little bit harder. And you don't get... Like, again, Let It Go was a really good tune.
Oh, yeah.
And I enjoyed Let It Go. Like, it's...
And Do You Want to Build a Snowman?
And that also a great song, because that one just makes me feel giddy inside. But this one just had a lot more, like... I don't know. The soundtrack is actually really killer. Yeah. And then, like, they got... oh, man, who is it? Some current group... Panic? I think Panic at the Disco does, like...
Panic at the Disco, Weezer does a song.
Yeah, Weezer's song is actually... Weezer is surprising.
I think there was someone else.
Yeah, there was someone else. Yeah. But yeah, like, because they ran through the credits because there's a post-credit scene. Yeah. And, like, one of them singing it, and it's like, oh, that was a killer song. And like, it was a good song in the thing. And it's like, who's singing this? And so I look at my phone because it just tells me, because Google's always listening. But it's like, by Weezer. And I'm like, oh, Weezer. You just surprise me every once in a while. Cause,
you just come out of nowhere.
Well, I'm not expecting that out of Weezer.
Yeah.
I'm expecting Weezer.
Yeah.
But then they release cover tunes of stuff, and I'm like, you guys can actually kind of like sing and stuff. Like,
they've fallen off the radar enough that people don't care about them anymore.
Yeah.
And they can do their own thing.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I enjoy it. Either way, Frozen was a fun movie. It was exciting. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than the first one.
Cool.
The characters they added were, like, anyone they added wasn't really, like, we're adding this person to bring them into the movie in a big way.
Yeah.
So it kept central to, you know, the main 4 people and a reindeer. Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Olaf, and then Sven. Yeah, that's why, like, it's the four main characters and the reindeer, who's really, like, attached to Kristoff.
Could have his own side story. Surprised he doesn't.
He kind of Sven.
Yeah.
Sven and Kristoff kind of have their own side story.
Yeah, but Sven can go off and do his own thing.
There are more reindeer in this movie.
I saw that. I've seen a trailer part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's another guy within the woods that his name is Ryder, and he also hangs out with not Flynn Rider. But he also hangs out with reindeer. And at one point he's like, "What did you say? You don't like it when blah blah blah?" And Kristoff's like, like, you talk for them too?
No, I'm straight.
Depends on the day. No, I enjoyed this one more. So there you go. And then of course the movie we're talking about at the end of stuff. Video games. I played a little bit of GTA 5. I couldn't keep playing it. The controls were just starting to get to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't the game I wanted to be playing at the time. It's still a good game.
Oh yeah, it's enjoyable.
Yeah, Modern Warfare we already talked about. I have reached level 66 on my battle pass.
I'm getting there.
I have achievements for this, which I didn't know there were achievements for, and thus it made my list, and that's only why it made my list. Microsoft Solitaire Collection.
All right.
I was having my computer was doing some stuff the other day, so I couldn't do anything major on it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, Solitaire is a game. So I booted up Solitaire on Windows 10.
Yeah.
It is now Microsoft Solitaire Collection.
Ooh.
So there's a whole bunch of different games you can play and deck backs you can get and all of this stuff. Either way, I beat a game of Solitaire. And it gave me achievement points.
Ooh.
And I'm like, excellent. Excellent.
Winning.
It's an official Xbox type game now. I played the first little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2.
We really don't.
We don't. With our actual jobs.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. This is for
we
funsies.
do it for it's a side thing.
Yeah, this is for funsies.
Yeah.
Look at us being funsies. Red Dead Redemption 2. Good game so far.
You've only played 10 minutes.
I've only played like 10 minutes of it, but it is stellar. Like,
yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
There's a reason that people loved this game. It is clear from the first 10 minutes of why people
that trophy
loved
list
this
looks apparently it's super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see I don't look at the trophy list until I start getting trophies.
I've heard of that because there's rare things you have to collect.
Yeah.
And they are super hard to find.
Oh yeah.
So
that's not surprising.
Yeah. And there's a lot of them.
Probably some like hunting of rare monsters and
I think actually yes, the
creatures.
The creatures are the main thing, and there's certain flowers, I believe.
Oh, good. Flower picking, great. Forza 4 I've been playing. I said it in the newscast portion of our thing. It is so far in the first 10 minutes.
I'll get to it eventually. It
was just not that game I felt like playing the other night. Like, again, too heavy.
Yeah.
And not the game I felt like playing. Forza 4, or Forza Horizon 4 I've been playing. They give you a house at one point in the game. That's pretty cool.
That's not a car. You can't drive that.
Nope, but I got a house. You go through seasons. It's a little weird like that. So the tracks change. Yeah. Obviously, if it's raining, mud tracks become harder to turn on and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, the best part of the game is collecting the cars, because you can just buy them. So that's exciting.
It is.
Jump Force I tried, which is the anime fighting game.
Yeah, with Goku and
Naruto.
Other anime guys that I do not know.
Correct. So it feels like a Dragon Ball fighting game, but with
other characters.
Other characters in it.
I can't remember the guy with the farmer hat.
One Piece?
Is it? I don't know. I recognize him, but I don't know.
I joined Goku's group because
that's the one you recognize.
I know them.
Yeah. Of course, Super Saiyan.
Yep. It feels like a regular DBZ fighter game, but
yeah.
It's connecting all of these worlds together. Like it opens with Frieza fighting Goku, or no, fighting someone else, and then Goku pops in and saves the day, sort of thing, and then Frieza jumps to a different dimension or what. Like it's they made it work.
Very weird.
Yeah, they made it work. Yeah. Tabs, totally accurate battle simulator.
Okay.
This pretty much puts ragdoll type characters into. So you get a battlefield and you get so many points and you have to spend them on units, and then the units kind of crash into each other, and you hope to God that they all do the right thing.
Okay.
You can take control of them, but they are essentially just like giant stickmen that can fall over if you don't do things like.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
I forgot that game where we played co-op and we.
Sort of like that game.
Yeah.
Human Fall Flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well, not that. Yeah, that game. But I'm sorry, like last week.
What did we play?
With the heads and the arms.
Oh, Heave Ho.
Heave Ho.
I forgot Heave Ho too. Look, I'll put it right here.
Did you remember your other Star Wars game that you're playing right now?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
I don't see it on your list.
It's there. I didn't put Star Wars in front of it. I also forgot I'm playing Final Fantasy IX.
Your list keeps growing. It's almost a page long.
I know. Final Fantasy IX. It's an old game. I enjoy it. It kind of feels like the old retro Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Heave Ho. Yes, we played Heave Ho. It is a game of cooperation.
We were screaming at each other.
Yeah. Grab my hand.
I can't grab you.
I can't.
I missed.
It's too far.
Oops, I let go.
Tony farted a lot.
Yeah, he tried to knock me off so many times. I was in the final area and he was farting at me.
I know. I think Tony was trying to work against the team to make things interesting for us.
I figured out a way to get around that though, and just hold on to the wall.
Just hold on to something.
You can't get rid of me.
I tried playing that game by myself. It's not as fun. Like, there's no coin collecting, which adds a bit to the.
That was hard.
Well, so that's the piece. It's like getting to the end is not always a huge challenge. It's getting to the end with that coin that makes it.
You don't have to have the coin.
You don't have to, but it makes the level that much more.
It was getting tough when we had spikes in that, and we couldn't do our big swing around.
I know, because that's the thing. Like, they make you comfortable because you're like, we'll just make a giant chain, and then you make the giant chain, and then you get to that spike, and you're like, we must break the chain. No,
we can't get across.
How are we gonna get? We can't. Hold my hand.
We were yelling at each other.
Oh yeah, in a fun way. It's
it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Hold my hand for the love of God.
Grab the coin. Grab the coin.
I'm going to throw the coin. I'm going to toss the coin.
Don't throw the coin.
Don't throw the coin. And then, Star Wars Fallen Order is the game I've been playing the most of other than Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
And Modern Warfare, there's not much to talk about. It's a good first-person shooter game.
Yeah.
You shoot things. It's fun. Fallen Order has been interesting. You do time jumps in it, like you go back to when you were a Padawan and you have your master training you.
Okay.
That's how you learn new Force moves. Because you've kind of pushed the Force away because there was a point where something happened and you let the Force get to you and you didn't like the way it felt.
Weird.
So you've kind of been like, and you're also on the run because this is after Order 66.
Yeah.
So every once in a while you'll come into this thing where it's like, oh no, your lightsaber's falling and you need to grab it. You've learned how to, and then you go into this time thing where all of a sudden it's like you're a Padawan again, and your master's like, we learned to force pull, so you learn how to force pull, and then you go back to where you are now, and you're like, hiya, and you remember. So the last flashback you get, sort of spoilers, but not really, because you know what happens in the game, but it's the first time you see clone troopers.
Okay.
And one of them's all like, yo, kid, we're totally going to go do this whole hangy outy thingy after. And your kid's like, yeah, it's going to be awesome, Commander. I'm so happy to hear that. And you're like, oh, no. there's a reason they put clone troopers in where they put clone troopers, and that's when Order 66 gets called down. You're like, oh snap.
All right.
So you get to see when he went a little bit force heavy, like his force powers really took hold. And then there's a point where they take your lightsaber away, so you have to build a new one. So that's where you get the different lightsaber colors. I didn't know this, but my favorite lightsaber color was only if you pre-ordered the game.
Oh.
So, all a little miffed right now. I'm just saying.
Can't have enjoying the game.
Yes, the game's been
other than your custom design.
Cannot have an orange lightsaber. So I've gone to yellow.
Which I figured out yellow. I found a video.
Oh yeah.
Describing
all the different colors. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun. So yeah, totally. It's been a fun game. It's still a fun game. They keep throwing these different Inquisitors after me, so they're Jedi who have gone to the Empire, but they're not Sith.
Okay.
They're just Jedi hunters. So if you watch Rebels,
there's
Inquisitors and I'm not sure if you know the exact Inquisitors.
Sentinels? Are they called Sentinels?
No, Sentinels were the Jedi.
Okay.
The Inquisitors are Jedi hunters, and they are in Rebels. And I've only watched like a couple episodes of Rebels, like key episodes of Rebels, because I'm like, these connect to the Clone Wars, so I definitely want to watch these specific ones. But they have like these weird lightsabers with the weird like circular handle on them.
Is it the one same as the one girl from Clone Wars where she kind of had a hooked one?
Sort of. Yes. You're thinking Ventress, I think.
I don't know her name. She had two lightsabers. One.
Yeah, something like that.
Instead of being straight like this, it was curved and more shape into her hand.
Sort of, yeah.
But it wasn't a full loop.
These ones are full loops.
Okay.
And they're called the Sisters, so it's like you fight the second sister, and then like the ninth sister is coming after you, and all of that jazz. So, and
they give them numbers.
Yeah, and little by little your powers get bigger, and you have a little droid that like holds onto your back the whole time, BD, BD1, and he gains powers as you keep going. So like there's zip lines you can do with him.
All right.
And then eventually like he learns how to go. He gets a motor attached to him, so he can go up zip lines.
All right.
So more and more like, and the worlds are all like you can go to Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
And you visited Kashyyyk, and then you leave Kashyyyk, but you can go back to Kashyyyk once you get new force powers to
find
more
stuff.
Yeah, find more stuff.
Oh, that's that type of game.
Oh yes. You go to the world where like Darth Maul's people come from.
Okay.
And fight some of the brothers there.
His brothers?
Not necessarily his. They call themselves sisters and Night Sisters and Night Brothers.
Okay.
So you meet people there and do some stuff, and it's like, okay. But really, you're looking for these artifacts to try and help rebuild the fallen Jedi Order.
But you don't.
Again, I know how the game's going to end.
Well, you don't know that. You might get away and...
He might get away. I know that piece. I just know he doesn't necessarily succeed in his mission.
No.
Because I've seen...
Well, do you want to do the other one first?
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, I've seen other things that have, gone in different directions. So if I hit this button, that should be
Mando?
There we go. I'm hitting the spoiler button. Okay, so Mandalorian
episode 8.
Episode 8 spoilers for the entire series at this point.
Yes.
Because this is season 1.
You should have watched the other ones by now.
I would hope so. Either way, if you haven't seen Mandalorian and you're still watching, come back later. Once you've watched them, like on the replay.
Yeah, okay.
Watch the replay. We're not going to be here all day talking about it. So.
No, but it was a really good episode.
Stellar episode.
Introduced a new villain.
Yep.
Which I was waiting for the big bad to pop up.
Yep, we needed one.
Because you have to in these type of shows.
Well, and again, we've had that discussion before, and I know Tony was really just hoping we'd just get more of like Mando flying from planet to planet. And it's like, well, no, you need to set up like. You have to give him a purpose other than just trying to evade these people. You can't do that for more than one season. So now he's evading someone, but we have a name.
Moff Gideon?
Yes, behind it. Good one.
Oh, I remember researching him.
But yeah, so we have Moff Gideon involved.
Yes, that's real. Well, he's the only character that was really introduced.
Yes.
New character introduced, I guess.
Yeah.
We found out actually Nick Nolte's character has biffed it.
Yep.
Or bit it, sorry.
Yep, he did.
Disappointing.
Yep.
I liked him.
But that's the fun part of the series, though, is like, one, no one's safe other than
The two.
Really, the two of them.
Well, the armor might.
But like for sure, like Mandalorian safe. It's named after him.
Yeah. We found out more of that history.
Got more of that history in, which was kind of cool.
Which it's what I speculated it was.
Yep.
It's not a race.
No, it's a creed, baby.
Yeah, it's a cult.
Yeah.
It's a cult.
We got to watch the blacksmith go like,
with her weapons.
Cool. Yeah.
She had nothing else. But I mean, that explains why they are the best warriors.
Yep. Well, because that's what they train to do. Like
they even the armorers who just make stuff
are still trained.
They know how to fight.
Yes. IG-11.
Yes.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi's character.
Yeah, got some really powerful moments in that episode, I thought.
And he directed this episode. Which it really showed at the start.
Yes. The speeder guy's talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
And shooting at the random thing when they couldn't hit it.
Jason Sudeikis was one of those stormtroopers.
Was he?
Yeah. Because I'm like, man, that delivery was too good to just be like... And so I looked it up, and it's Jason Sudeikis and another comedian who's done a bunch. I don't know who he is, but... Yeah. And I'm like, that makes sense. Like, too sarcastic-ish type.
Boom.
Can we come in yet? No? He's still killing people? Oh, okay.
He just killed the lieutenant.
You just killed the lieutenant. Okay.
For talking back to him.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll just wait. Yeah. And then shaking the gun like...
That was so great.
Yeah, like...
It really, I think it would be a couple things that were done in this episode really setting up for
season 2
and beyond.
Yeah,
I assume.
Well, and then we're getting the fun stuff from like other characters doing things because there was like the Darksaber.
Yes.
So even Sam Worthington, I think is his name.
Yeah.
One of the guys who voices Darth Maul.
No, he was the guy in Force Unleashed.
I know, but he voices Darth Maul now.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because I think he tweeted out, if that's canon,
yeah,
I think they needed to add something else that's canon.
Correct.
I assume he's going to his Force Unleashed character.
No, he's going with because Darth Maul had that lightsaber last.
Yeah, but it doesn't show that in one of the cartoons.
How he lost it?
No, how he had it.
Yes.
So.
But we don't know how Moff Gideon got it. So that's what he wants, is Darth Maul to show up in a flashback of some kind. Or in this crazy thing called an Obi-Wan series. Or, heaven forbid, a Darth Maul series.
Well, I assume it's going to be in the Clone Wars how he got it.
Or, again, in a Clone Wars episode, we're going to see what happens and how he got it.
Because in that new season, they're going to hit 3 major points, and one of the major points is the Battle of Mandalore.
Yes.
Or the Siege of Mandalore. Yeah. So we're going to get it behind.
Yes, some extra looks at Mandalorian culture and stuff.
How the Empire just totally wiped them out.
Yeah.
I should be curious. I assume Vader has something to do with this.
Yeah.
He would be. But yeah, that's why I know Moff Gideon is, because I looked up the Darksaber.
Yeah. To find out what was going on there.
To find out who was he, and then the article started going to, well, this is the Darksaber, and this is the history of it, and it belonged to the Mandalorian that joined the Jedi Council.
Yes. And
it is how Mandalorians, in traditional fashion, settle who is the leader of the group. And
now there can only be one.
Well, there's only 2.
Yes.
Well, technically 3.
I know.
I mean, technically, because that was the other part. There was the Darksaber part, but there was also when they had that little session with the armorer.
Yes.
That whole talk and how he got his insignia, finally, of the horn or whatever.
Yeah.
And how he must become the dad, essentially father, to this child.
Sam Witwer, sorry, is yes.
Witwer.
Yes, Witwer.
Yeah, how he has to be essentially the father to this new foundling.
Yeah.
And that is going to be his mission, is either to
get him home,
keep him, train him.
Yeah.
Until then, or in the process, you got to find his home.
Yeah.
And you are responsible for him until you get him.
And no one knows where those people come from.
No.
No one knows anything about that.
Well,
species.
We're gonna get some more history.
I know. Maybe we'll meet Yodel.
I doubt it. I really doubt it.
Yeah, Sam Witwer plays Darth Maul, and he also. So this was the weird part, was in the Solo movie, they had the original guy as Ray Parker as the body.
Ray Park, sorry, not
yeah, Ray Park as the body.
Yeah.
And Sam Witwer did the voice.
Yeah.
So that it would connect back to
Interesting.
Clone Wars. Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, Maul the guy who voices Maul wants to know how the heck his lightsaber ended up in
Moff
Gideon's hands. And he's like, and I'm like, I'm down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be a fun mini-series.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and so yeah, it's now official. He is the father of this.
Yes.
Child, which is awesome.
The Mandalorian, and we got to see his face.
Yes, which that was a nice workaround.
That was perfect.
Where no
living thing can see my face.
Well, I'm not a living thing.
Yeah.
So, just take it off.
Yeah. Well, and that was the part where, like, because IG-11, again, we're talking spoilers here anyways, but IG-11 dies.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, like, you see them team up in the first one, and then IG-11's about to kill the baby.
Yeah.
And he kills him, and it's like, okay. Like, that was a good character to have for that one episode.
Yeah.
Then they bring him back as the caretaker of the baby.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, this is so enjoyable. Like, I actually like him, and he's still a killer robot.
Yeah.
So he's great to have on your team. Like, this is going to be killer going into season 2 with, you know...
I was hoping.
With all of these, with this kind of crew, like, we're going to get Firefly going on. Like, we're going to get a small crew going, and he's going to fly through space and try and find this guy's home. And, nope, it is still just Mando.
Yeah.
Like, it's Mando and the baby. And I mean, people will come back.
We'll get that, and then, because the two other, Carl Weathers and Gina...
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Somewhere, I can't remember her last name. Where they're now they're a pair.
Yes, they're doing
She's going to work with him.
Yeah.
Or I think that's how they worked it out. She's going to protect him.
Yeah.
From anything.
Yeah.
And he's still going to do his guild.
Yeah, she's going to be a bodyguard to get paid money, essentially. And
yeah.
Cool. Which, again, like, you can bring them back into the show.
Oh, absolutely. And you're going to definitely see them.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of characters that you're going to see. You're going to see that little band of villains that he was with. Yes. They're going to come back at some point.
Yeah. Which is why I really like this show, because it's not like...
He's not killing people.
Well, and it's not like The Flash or Green Arrow, where it's, like... Buffy worked because it had the Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
And then Angel worked because, like, they built their own Scooby Gang. And then a lot of those teen shows were like, okay, we put a hero and then their friends around them.
Yeah.
Every episode. And it's like, well, no, The Flash should be able to handle things without...
Well, yeah, that show kind of... The group is getting bigger and bigger.
Right, like, it's become a problem. Whereas this show is like, we have our hero, Mando, and we have his job, like, taking care of this kid. And every once in a while, these people that he's met in his adventures pop up and do things. And I love that, because it's not the Scooby Gang. Like, he doesn't need these people every week to solve his problems.
Yeah.
He can clearly solve his own problems 90% of the time. But every once in a while, he needs a friend.
Yep.
And he knows he can be like, yo, what up? I'm about to die. Someone help.
Yeah.
So...
And he got his jetpack.
And he finally got
Phoenix.
Yes.
Phoenix something training.
Yes.
Do you remember that? I haven't done it for a while. Here you go. Ooh.
Well, and I love how it's like they give it to the robot. Like, he's not allowed to wear this yet because he needs to train with it.
When he's a heel, I thought.
No.
I thought they said he was, because his head, he wasn't.
It was more he had to heal up. He had to heal up, and he also had to train, because she had said something like, you have to train like an hour every day for so long before you can actually, like, use it. And then times called for, drastic measures. And
he didn't have to.
No.
Which was a nice move, though.
Yeah, it was.
Like, taking on the TIE Fighter and everything, and
Yeah, no, it was a really, 8 episodes. What a show.
Good show.
And again, felt like Star Wars.
Yep.
Speaking of Star Wars.
Yes, for the final thing.
New spoilers. So the spoiler tag's still up, but now it's for Rise of the Skywalker.
Yes.
If you haven't seen Rise of the Skywalker yet.
I mean, this is the second weekend, so we could technically be...
I know, but the spoiler tag's still up. So if you haven't watched it, again, come back for the rewind after you've seen it. It was a good movie.
It was a good movie. I don't understand the critics going after it as much as they did.
No, I've watched...
But they've also said that the entire Kylo and Rey trilogy,
yes,
is what they're calling it, failed. They didn't have the same connection.
See, and then I watched some reviews on this from other like people that I normally watch, like Kevin Smith and Mark Bernard were talking about it, and Kevin Smith was like, it was the greatest movie of all time.
Well, that's because he's in it.
Well, he's in it. But no, he loves it because of all the fan servicey type things that they threw into the movie. And then like Mark Bernard and Kevin Smith both made really good points where like you have a really good movie that you could elevate to a better movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like in this movie we have stormtroopers that defected.
Yeah.
Why didn't they use Finn as like, it's like, well, why did you defect? And it's like, we just felt like it was the right thing to do. And Kevin Smith was like, one of my friends says the easiest line to throw in there to make everything make sense was, well, we heard you did it.
We heard about a stormtrooper
a stormtrooper that turned and we followed suit.
Yeah.
And that gives Finn's story like, you know. So little things like that. So like very nitpicky into the entirety of, you know, whatnot. Otherwise, like, and then a lot of people, it was like, they brought the Emperor back real quick. Like, legitimately in the opening crawl.
Yeah, which is fun.
Which, again, that's kind of how I feel Star Wars.
They said he had there was a voice out there.
Yeah, the dead speak. Yeah.
The Sith can do unnatural things.
And again, if anybody's going to survive death, it's going to be...
Yeah, and there's always been speculation if Maul survived.
Yeah.
That Palpatine probably survived, too.
Yeah. So, some of the memes coming out of this are also really funny, because there's a lot of Force healing going on in this movie. So, like I said...
Bringing a new power into it, kind of, because for people who are a little unfamiliar.
Yes, if you've
obviously
only ever...
watched Mando, you know the healing can happen.
If you've played any of the video games, you know the healing can happen.
Well, you just figure that's video game stuff, though.
No, because they've worked it into so much Star Wars stuff over the years that Force healing's always just kind of like, oh yeah, it can happen. It can't be like a mortal wound.
It can, but there's a sacrifice to it.
Correct. So, which they have talked about in Star Wars Episode 3.
They can heal?
That there was powers that could cheat death, but like to bring someone back would mean sacrifice. Like there was a line where like the
wasn't it Yoda that said it then?
Someone did. Like there was discussion.
One of the Jedi talked about it.
Like you could bring someone back, but like the cost is the ultimate cost essentially.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There's the weird throwaway line in this about like being the Force diode because of their relationship and their connection or whatever, and it was kind of a quick like Metachlorians throwaway line. Like, yeah, you're a Force diode. I've never seen something like this before. I'll suck your powers.
Huh, okay.
But that's how Rey and Kylo had that really cool connection where they could do all of the fighting without actually being in the same room.
And destroy and steal things.
And
that was a bit of a weird...
But again, like, that's that piece is like, what can
when he took the thing off her neck, I was like, and he had it in his possession, I'm like, that's...
It's getting real now.
That's weird.
Yep. Yep.
And even, like you said, the fight, and then the helmet comes up beside him, and I'm like, oh, I know where she is.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, that was great. It's like, and she's on my ship.
She's in my room?
Yeah.
Get her out.
She's in my quarters. Don't let her look under the bed.
She might find things.
That's where I keep all my Vader fan fiction. Yeah, like, and then people like some of the critics I was watching, like, well, why did Kylo get his helmet back?
Because he wanted it back.
And it was just like, well, because, and someone again said it really well, was they ditched it in the second movie because he was his own guy.
Well, because he smashed it because Snoke was mad at him.
Yes.
Or something. And
for being a Vader wannabe, and he was like, I'm not a Vader wannabe, I'm my own guy, so he smashed his helmet.
Yeah.
Now he was Supreme Leader.
And he...
So to bring back that sense of fear, because he knew, like, it's like, you know, Darth Vader had that presence.
Yeah.
To get that presence, he brought back the mask.
And I liked the red etchings into it.
Yeah.
It made it look that more intimidating.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, looked pretty killer. And then he killed a guy way worse than Vader did in an almost identical scene to, like, why did you bring back the helmet? Like, that's a little... And instead, you know, like Vader in the first movie when he's just kind of like...
But he did that.
Yeah.
Then the guy's still choking on top of the roof.
Exactly. Now the guy's on the roof choking.
But it's also as we've seen these new ones, the power of the Force is...
Yes.
You don't need to hold your hand up there. You can just do it with your head. And just,
yeah. You're stuck now, man. You did.
You did.
And again, that's more of a limitation from 1977.
Well, they didn't really know what they were, growing.
Yeah. As opposed to, like, now we have better effects.
You can stop a laser.
Yeah. From
a high-powered rifle.
Exactly. Even in the video game, like, if you play Fallen Order, you can not freeze people, but slow people down.
Yeah.
Like, there's pieces to the Force where it's like, the more advanced we get with technology, the cooler the movies get, because we can do more. So the space wizards get extra powers. Yeah. Another piece was like the X-wing lifting out of the water.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good arc for like Luke, because it shows he finally did it.
Yeah.
Because he never did it. Yoda did it for him.
Yeah.
And now this is like, so I'm sitting there going like, because people complain, well, it should have been Rey doing it because now she's
not ready though.
But she was. That was the piece.
She wasn't ready.
So, and my thing
But Yoda did it for Luke,
right.
So why does it matter?
So that was my piece, was like, it's showing that Luke is now kind of like passing on the same thing. Like Yoda believed Luke, like he believed Luke's mission. That's why he did it. And it's like, well, Luke's like, we got this. Like, yeah. And it finally showed, like, it finished.
Well, I think Yoda did it though to show that I do have Force powers. I'm not just messing with you here.
Yeah, but then he could have dropped it back in Yoda fashion, because Yoda back then was kind of a dick. But
But no, I think it was to show that. See, I do have Force powers. I can do this.
Like, I can teach you, man. Like,
Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was very much a, like, I believe in you, and, here, have my X-Wing, which I thought, again, was... Like, that's why Kevin Smith liked this movie, was all of the, like, they brought back Red 5, Yeah. Now she's got that helmet on, which goes back to episode 7, where she was, sitting there with...
there was the old fighter.
Yeah.
In that final fight, the old one of the
Wedge
old guys
comes back, yeah.
It's Wedge.
I know.
Wedge is awesome.
Wedge is back, baby. Why wasn't Wedge there the whole time? We don't know, but
because he was too old, and he felt he was too old.
Yeah.
Kind of what Lando felt too.
Yeah.
His time was done. He didn't need to do anything.
And if it helps anybody out there, there's a giant scene where hundreds of thousands of ships pop up. It's very endgamey.
Yeah.
Firefly's in that scene.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because they own Fox, which owns Firefly,
Okay.
which means they can put it in their movie
I assume
without
someone
getting in
found
trouble.
it.
Yes, it's actually dead center.
All right.
Like, there's the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're too focused on the Millennium Falcon to even.
So behind that is Serenity. So people who've watched the movie like 5 times are like, so Serenity's there, and this ship's there, and this ship's...
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh, you put Star Trek in there.
So Serenity makes a minor appearance in the thing. But yeah, like, I enjoyed it.
And then we had Harrison Ford pop up.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which kind of... It went the opposite way of his other scene, or his last scene.
Right.
Whereas you know what you need to do.
It was the mirror of that, yeah.
And turned around and just, okay.
Yeah.
Chucked his lightsaber away.
Yeah.
Which, actually, I saw a funny thing, because at the end, when she buries the lightsabers in the sand, pictures of Anakin, when she puts her lightsabers in the sand, he's... I don't think so. He gets every... Or just a bunch of him making funny kind of disgusted faces with her. It's great.
And that's like the thing with this movie, is there's so many cool things they could have done to make it better.
Yeah.
So not that it was bad. I really enjoyed this film, but like...
It would have been cool if that lady was from somewhere at the end.
Sure.
That we would have seen her, and she's just an old...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's 60s and 70s, but...
Yeah. But even like someone's like, and I mean, this is like Kevin Smith's wet dream of a thing, but like you saw Luke and Leia at the end of the movie watching her, and it's like,
put all of them.
Well, yeah, put Han Solo in there, and it's like, we know he's not a Jedi, but
he wouldn't have been able to.
And that's the piece. It's like, canonically, he wouldn't have been able to.
You could have had all the voices that were talking to her.
All those voices being actually
could have popped up behind them.
Force ghosts popping up behind her to like support her would have been.
And then you could have got a live version of Asuka, and
right.
You could have got Samuel L. Jackson back. He would have done it.
The
Yoda you could have had in there.
The guy from Rebels, not the main character, but his master was one of the voices.
Okay.
There's a guy with
kind of mask. A voice thing.
No.
He was early on in the Clone Wars.
No. Yeah, I don't think he's spoken.
Yeah, he did.
Was Master Poe in there? Because that was who that was.
I don't know. It was the guy with the. It was.
But that's what I mean. Like, they had all of these cool characters talking. Like, bring Hayden Christensen back to stand back there, and
you could have had all the Jedis that fall in Order 66 come up behind. But
sure.
I mean, their powers may not have been.
Yeah, and that was the thing. You had to be a certain. You had to know what you were doing to achieve like a Force ghost.
So you get Luke, Leia.
Yeah.
You could Yoda because he's done it.
Yeah.
You can get Anakin in
sure.
there because he's done it.
He's done it. Yeah. Mace Windu clearly.
I don't know because he was more a lightsaber guy. He wasn't. He was more of a fighter.
Doesn't matter. It wasn't like you had to be the best Force user. You just had to be attuned to the like Qui-Gon Jinn can do it.
Well, yeah, but we know Qui-Gon could have been there.
He was. His voice is in there. They got
Obi-Wan.
They got Liam Neeson. They got both Obi-Wans to do it.
How'd they get the other one?
They just use the Force.
Huh.
they just keep going back to that well of like he said enough lines as the wise old guy that we can just keep popping them in there.
But yeah, you could have had like at least 8.
Sure. And it would have been really cool.
And just pop it up behind.
To see to see Ahsoka.
And I assume you could have Ahsoka would have had. You could have had her. Because I don't know the cartoons, so I don't know how she got with the Force or anything like that. She's just
Anakin's apprentice.
Yeah, but did she get super strong or? Because I know at one point
she fights Vader.
Well, yeah, I know. So obviously she's decent.
Yep. Like yeah, she fights Vader. She's a Jedi, and her voice was in there again. Like if her voice can project, I'm assuming she can Force Ghost.
Probably.
So, yeah, that's what I mean. Like that would have made that scene better.
Yeah. Because you could. That's when she's doing that, getting back up. They all start popping up behind her, or even when she's on Tatooine.
Yeah.
They could have been.
Yeah. Well, that was my other thing was like.
But I guess those are the two that meant the most to her.
The lightsabers were going. Yeah. Because that was their lightsabers going down and all of that jazz.
But it was Anakin's.
Which was Luke's first lightsaber.
Which he gave to Leia?
No.
Because the green one was... Not... Green one was his?
Green one was only in that flashback. We never saw it again.
Well, what one that she had blue and on green one.
No, they were both blue.
They're both blue and green. Oh, yeah.
They were both blue. The only scene we got with the green one was the same on Endor.
That's where I was watching that video on the different types of lightsabers.
Yeah.
The crystal is nothing. It's whatever the user is.
Yes.
It molds to that color.
The crystal, yes.
Where the blue people are more up here.
Yeah.
Force-wise, where the green are more I'm gonna fight you type people.
Yeah.
The yellows are apparently Sentinels, who are kind of a mixture of both, and we're kind of one with all aspects of the Force.
Yes.
And then red is obviously the
Sith,
and then purple is just because Samuel Jackson wanted to be
purple
different.
There, yeah.
He wanted his favorite color.
He was a master of all the lightsaber arts. Then. That was Mace Windu's big thing.
He was what?
He was a master of all the lightsaber arts.
Oh, okay.
Like everybody kind of picked one.
Yeah.
He was like, I got all 7 down, so I got my own.
Like stances type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So stances and forms and all of that stuff. So like some people would fight like a samurai, whereas other people would fight like it's a short sword, like that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
He could do it all. That was supposed to be Mace Windu's like claim to fame. That's why he was a Jedi Master, was because
he could do everything.
He could just kick ass with a lightsaber.
Yeah. And I gotta say, and I know I mentioned this after we saw it, the Emperor really needs to learn not to use lightning against the lightsaber.
Yeah.
It has worked against him twice now. Obviously, the second time is.
So did he just not stop once it starts like arcing back in because it just like.
I think it might have built up in it, and she just kind of.
Okay. Yeah,
that's what I figured. Is she just shot it back?
Because you think he'd just be like nope, stop.
Although when he did it with Mace Windu, he kept going.
Yeah. That's true.
Because he kept going, even though he was getting a hit back at them, he was still. Doing it. So I assume that he just. In his head, it's probably I'm powerful enough. I will eventually break you. Through as much as this hurts right now. I'm gonna break you.
Me, I'm gonna get you first.
Yeah, I assume that's what his thought process would be. But yeah, it was a good movie. I don't know what the critics are talking about.
Again,
crazy people.
I thought it was a good movie. Like, clearly they put stuff in there to sell toys, but that's every Star Wars movie. Like,
I also mentioned after, on a more negative note, I would have liked to see Lando and Chewie also bite it.
Yes.
Because then that would have been, like, when he did the lightning storm up into the sky, which was, by the way, was cool.
Yeah.
Have the ship go down and not be able to recover because it's the Millennium Falcon. It's just been through so much.
Yep.
And it just crashes, and Chewie and Lando are
done
talking to each other.
Yeah.
Saying their goodbyes, and just have it
Yep.
done. And it would have been an official end of that. No one's left over.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah,
gone.
the old guard is finally gone.
Yeah.
Because that was even Mark Bernardin's thing. He's like, why is it, Lando flying all of these people in to save the day? Like, Lando's already done that. If this is a movie that's supposed to be about the new people...
Because it's Poe telling Lando to go do it.
I know, but, like, why isn't it then, after his redemption thing? Like, why isn't it Ben Solo flying the Millennium Falcon into that thing?
I don't think he knows how to fly it. He didn't.
So... Like, that's the P. It's just like...
I don't think Chewie would have been able to forgive him.
Oh, and that's the P. It's like Kevin Smith's like, I hope someone would have told Chewie about, like, the fact that he was now Ben Solo again and not Kylo Ren, because that dude can rip people's arms off.
I like the little chest thing, too.
Yeah. Does he always win?
He cheats.
No, you don't cheat. You're 200 years old, man. Like...
You got it.
You're just good.
He cheats.
Yeah.
That little bromance was...
I liked that.
That was good.
I liked that. That was good.
And there was speculation of what he said to her.
Yes.
And there was a video on that too.
Yes.
It was just that
he was force sensitive.
Yes, that he wasn't not to love. He doesn't love her.
Yeah. It's because he loves Poe.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Or he loves the whatever.
Rose Tico.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he loves Poe.
He loves one of the two.
Rose loves him. He loves Poe.
Poe loves Helmet.
Carrie Russell's Helmet character.
Yeah. I mean, that interaction was
that
great
was
too.
cute at
It's
the
like,
end too. Yeah.
No. Walks away. But yeah, and then I guess they're just saying that Ben and Rey were because they were connected. There was a love interest there.
Well, and you got that when it was like take my hand and like that was more than just take my hand and join me on this.
I would have taken Ben's hand.
Yeah, I would have taken Ben's hand, like Yeah. And then I like Kevin Smith's thing was funny. He's like, so I'm thinking I'm gonna change my name, and he's like, do a bunch of bad stuff, and then change it back to Kevin Smith. And he's like, because Star Wars has taught me that I can mass murder lots of people and blow up planets. But as long as I was doing it as, my Sith counterpart, it's totally cool.
It's true, they've done it twice now.
But legitimately with this one, it was like when she stabs Ben, or when she stabs Kylo.
It was out of rage.
Well, no, but that was killing Kylo Ren. She brings him back to life.
But I thought the healing was more...
The healing was to bring him back, like just to make sure he didn't die, because she did like him, But
I thought that was more what turned him, that she showed sympathy to him.
Like, you can go back.
Yeah.
And then that was the pieces, like, what was Leia's part in all of, like, because Leia went with intention to go lie down. She obviously, like, force projected at least her voice over to him to say Ben. That's why he got stabbed.
Yeah.
And I mean, you speculated on this, and everybody's pretty much going, like, she was supposed to have force projected herself.
Maybe.
To do the whole, like, Ben, like, I do forgive you. You can come home, da-da-da-da-da-da. Like...
Yeah.
But clearly, Carrie Fisher had died, and they couldn't do that to that scene, so she pretty much unlocked the memory of Han Solo.
Yeah.
And that's how you get Han Solo without
but he
being
wasn't
a Force Ghost.
But he wasn't glowing.
No, because he was a memory.
So it was already... But I don't think it was her. I think that was just in his head.
Right. But is that, like,
I don't think she...
Is Leia's character supposed to have, like, kind of unlocked that little memory just to be like...
I don't think so.
Because otherwise that should have been Leia.
I think it was a...
Force projecting.
I think it would have been a voice to both of them to stop fighting.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
But
either way, it worked out well.
Knights of Ren were actually powerful.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at how powerful they were.
After we got that boy band scene of them in the desert, everybody's making fun of that one where they do like that drone shot of like the 6 of them standing in the desert on that platform.
Okay.
Because it looks like an old Backstreet Boys video when they did like that big rotation around all 5 of them. Okay. So people have interplaced it with like Backstreet Boys music. But like there's nods to even Ben, in his last lightsaber fight, where like one before he gets the lightsaber and he does like the shot behind him and it hits and it's like that's a Han Solo move.
Yeah.
And then like he does one of the things with the lightsaber and kind of gives like this like kind of shrug and they're like that's a Harrison Ford like shrug type move.
I do agree.
Yeah.
But I think that was the plan in 8.
Yeah.
To do more on the Knights of Ren, but
yes. Rian Johnson did his own thing, which again I was like I was mostly cool with. I was cool 90% of that film. Yeah. But this movie had a lot of like let's course correct.
I didn't realize he was talking to us.
Let's course correct back to, hey.
You missed it on the now that you're here.
Yeah.
One of the best movies of the decade was The Last Airbender. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I think you spelled Ren right.
Yeah, Rian Johnson did that. It was actually on the worst list. Chris and I defended it.
Yeah.
Staunchly.
Yeah. You should have been here.
Yeah. Clearly. You left the wrong 2 people. But yeah, like the Knights of Ren, I think we were supposed to get a lot, but Rian Johnson did his thing, which again I thought was kind of cool, but JJ did a lot of like, because they mentioned the Haldo maneuver, like why don't we just do the Haldo maneuver? And it's like, we know that only works like once, man.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of shots at, Rian Johnson or whatever, kind of going like, this was stupid, so we're gonna undo it, and this was stupid, so we're gonna undo it. This was stupid, so we're gonna undo it.
Yeah.
Like again, Kylo getting the mask back and all of that. Like it
was.
Well,
but the mask made sense though.
It all makes sense. J.J. Abrams made it all make sense. It was just very much like, remember in The Last Jedi when this happened? Well, like.
It's true.
So yeah, we kind of got J.J. Abrams firing back at Rian Johnson for not following the pattern that he had set up, like the storylines he had set up.
Well, because what JJ did the first time was 4.
Right.
So
Rian Johnson
should have done 5.
Apparently, he should have gone, far to left field and
where the bad guys win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing I would also like to see is because the guy that was fighting Kylo for the leadership.
Yep.
But that just jumped in and I kind of submitted to him, and he's kind of the leader. There was no. It would have been nice to see him a little bit more.
He would have been a good
headbutting.
Yes, he would have been a good antagonist.
But I mean, Kylo was also throwing people in the air and choking them.
Sure.
So there's probably that. I don't believe you, or I don't want to do this.
But it would have even been good, like Hux gets, then again, spoiler territory, but he gets killed off.
Yeah.
It would have been nice because they brought in a general from one of the old movies.
Yeah.
And the Emperor starts talking to him. That would have been good if the Emperor would have gone to Hux and been like, listen, like, clearly Kylo's not listening to me anymore. Mm-hmm. You were running things, or you were going to run things before he was. Like, can I entrust this to you? And give Hux that, like, reversal story again where... Because he was only a traitor because he really didn't like Kylo Ren.
Yeah, he wanted to see him lose.
Right.
He doesn't care about the rebellion. He just wants Kylo to lose.
Right. So, like, that would have been... And then, like, the Emperor maybe juicing him up somehow so that, like, Kylo couldn't have done something to him. Like...
Yeah.
Something like that. This movie, I think the biggest criticism I've seen that I kind of agree with was it should have honestly been 2 flicks.
I don't know about that.
Give us more Knights of Ren. Give us more of that kind of stuff.
Like I said, that was supposed to be 8.
I know. So that's the piece. Is like, give us 8.
But I don't think you do 10 because I think people, like they said,
I know it's trilogies.
People are already getting tired of them. That's why you're moving into more of the TVs because people are getting tired of the movies.
I think people are tired of the movies because they keep not. We're happy with Mando because it's doing Star Wars.
Well, there's nothing much to do with the Force.
I know.
Other than the child pushing a flamethrower back.
Yeah.
Which is awesome too, by the way.
Yeah, really cool. But that's what I mean. Like, Mando's doing Star Wars the way we feel Star Wars should be done, whereas.
But he's not Force heavy, where the other ones are Force heavy.
I guess so.
Because that's Jedi and Sith.
Yeah.
The Force is alive and well with those guys.
I think they really wanted to also stick to trilogies and each set comes
There's a rumor for 10.
Set of 3. I know, but 10 will also start off a new.
They're not going to number them anymore. You're just going to call them a Star Wars story.
Which I was excited about until Solo.
I would be happy with another Solo movie.
No.
I would be happy with it because they opened that up.
I know.
So much.
I'd be cool with everything except Han Solo. No. Emilia Clarke's character, totally great. I'll follow Darth Maul till, I know where he dies, but I'll follow him till he dies.
I know where he dies, but I'll follow him to that point.
Yeah, I'll get to that point with him. I think maybe splitting it into 2 and just...
I don't know.
Giving us more time to be like, oh, the Emperor's back, cool, and, show the Knights of Ren doing their thing, and,
capturing Chewie.
Sure.
How did they capture Chewie? Because no one is... That man, because... that beast is very strong.
He is. They caught him off guard.
I guess.
He's been caught before.
But how did... But I guess you want to nitpick. How did no one else notice that Chewie was being kidnapped?
Yeah, that was kind of my...
Because he was walking out to Rey, which was in clear sight of the rest of the people in that ship. How do you not notice 5 guys in a dark clothing on white sand?
We got him!
Bag over his head.
Just a big, potato sack right over top of an entire Wookiee. We got him. And I don't know, because it shows Chewie kind of turning to the one direction, so maybe he went the wrong way because he's an idiot. I don't know. Either Chewie's a moron, or everybody else is.
I don't know.
They threw in a new droid for no reason.
Comic relief.
I guess so.
To get BB-8 someone to talk to.
I guess so. I don't.
Because C-3PO had R2-D2, which C-3PO was
so good.
So stupid.
I loved him.
So stupid.
That's I was just looking
Baba
at
Freak?
Baba Freak. Baba Freak was the best new addition to this film.
They were comparing him to the child.
Baba Freak.
Hello, my name is C-3PO. Yeah. What is yours?
Baba Freak!
No one else answers.
Baba Freak is my oldest friend. They set C-3PO, so someone was watching it online. He got set back to The Force Awakens. That was the backup. The last backup was The Force Awakens.
But what mission was he going on? Whose first mission?
So again, they eliminated The Last Jedi from C-3PO's memory.
They'll bring it back.
That was one of those, again, shots at The Last Jedi was even C-3PO doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
So.
You didn't see a lot of R2.
No, because BB-8 is the
new one.
He's Rey's droid.
No, he's Poe's droid.
Yeah.
He's not Rey's droid.
I know.
Because they had that squabble right off the bat.
So the Millennium Falcon.
What'd you do to the Millennium Falcon?
What did you do to BB-8? I know. That was cute.
You dropped a tree on him?
I love that because they both go to the people who don't speak English. Because she goes to talk to the Wookiee. And he talks to the droid, so the Wookiee, you light speed jumped with the Falcon? And it's you dropped a tree on the droid?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Highly enjoyable. I enjoyed the movie. I thought, again, what they did with Carrie Fisher, what they could do with Carrie Fisher was... Because they changed her costume, too, digitally.
Did they?
Yeah. Because all of those, she was, that was one scene in... they had filmed a long scene for her in The Force Awakens that they never used.
Yeah.
So she was in the same outfit. So to make it fit with this one, they kept changing her outfit.
All right.
And it's so there's a lot of digital work around Carrie Fisher.
Yeah. Not her.
Not specific. She was not.
Yeah.
The clothes were, the backgrounds were. So, again, when, Rose Tico's not really in this movie a whole lot, and people were complaining because it's, you gave us this new character, and again, just because Rian Johnson came up with him, or her, she's gone,
What happened to Benicio del Toro's character?
He did his thing in the last movie and he was gone. He was just a smuggler or whatever. That's all you needed. Maybe he was on one of those ships.
No.
That came in at the end to fight the bad guys.
Really? Who was manning those ships?
What? The Empire ships?
Yeah.
All of those weird people in the crowd. Again, another question I have, but... Like, there were Sith loyalists on that planet.
I know. I think that was just the imagination.
You think that
they
was
were
just
blank. There were no one there. And then he did... And then...
I know.
I think they were just there.
It's wonky. I need to know more about... Like, that's why I say an extra movie would have helped.
I'll go watch that again.
Or an extra, like, half an hour.
I will be going to watch that again.
They did apparently cut half an hour out of the flick.
I'll be watching the movie again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure those were just figments because it's all part of him out in the crowd.
But that's because I'm thinking that in my brain that's what it is. I'm just making sure he hasn't responded with anything yet.
No, I
he's
think
mad.
I think
He's mad at the Last Airbender. Yeah. Like that was that piece was that's what I thought. But then it's like someone has to be manning those ships. So,
I think it was just the Emperor.
Like flying them.
Well, just holding them above.
I don't know.
Or they were remote controlled.
I don't know.
Because they said they couldn't lift off without the...
Well, because they needed to get through that weird storm that was surrounding...
Yeah.
You know, Eco Pico or wherever they were. Exodus or...
Exo.
Yeah, like they had to escape through that storm.
Wow.
So they needed they all needed that little the pyramid thing.
Which would have been just the Emperor just going.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like there's a longer movie maybe, but I think they were scared of making a longer movie because like Disney's very afraid of Star Wars right now.
Well, because it hasn't been doing well according to critics.
Right.
So.
And like.
Solo didn't do well. And this new trilogy hasn't. A lot of fans have had issues with it.
Sure. And that's the pieces. Like, but then again, Kathleen Kennedy comes out, who runs Lucasfilm, and goes, well, we don't have, like, Marvel has years and years and years of comic books to go off. We don't have anything other than, like, 6 movies, and where everybody's like...
You have comics,
you have comics and books, dum-dum. Like, you clearly have a rich history of things you could have drawn from and decided not to.
Yep.
Which is fine, but you can't say you don't have ideas, because we've been giving them to you for years.
Video games.
Yeah, like...
Come on.
Yeah.
I would love to see that Force Unleashed guy.
Sure. But that's what I mean. It's like, you have story. Like, don't lie to me and tell me you don't have stories. Because even the Fallen Order stuff, like, the story in there is a decent story. Like, Jedi cut off from the Force. The person who, like, and then, like, even one of the people on your ship was an old Jedi, but she refuses to reconnect with the Force because she lost her battle with the dark side.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to go back to that place. So it's just like, like there's some cool and compelling things to do, and you did some of them, but there could have been more.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I liked it. I say go see it. I say go see that. I say go see Frozen 2.
I'll wait for Frozen 2. I'm not going to go see that.
I'm excited to see, because you're going to see Jumanji soon enough, aren't you?
I don't know. I have to figure out a time of that.
But because I'm excited to see how, like, Jumanji, how good it is.
It's supposed to be better than the first.
I know it's supposed to be really good, so.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us
Yes.
on the post-credit show of the new year. I'm going to get rid of the spoiler tag before I forget on the next episode. So thanks for joining us. Check us out at barrelrollnews.com for all of our links to all of our social media. You can, of course, like and subscribe and share with us. Goodbye, Brian. Good day.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Go see The Last Airbender.
Yeah, you should watch it. Or Fanforstic, also on Disney+.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.